What if I told you that 120 soldiers once stopped thousands of Chinese troops at 16,000 feet, armed with little more than grip? Well, this isn't a movie plot, it's a real chapter of Indian military history, the Battle of Rezang, fought on November 18, 1962, during the Sino-Indian War. And now Bollywood is bringing it back to life with Farhan Akhtar's recent movie 120 Bahadur. But why does this matter for your defense examination or for understanding India's strategic geography? I'll explain it in the video. Let's dive into one of the most historic last stands ever recorded and how it ties into India's crucial mountain passes, defense strategy, and current affairs relevance. Let's talk about the Battle of Rezang. Picture this: 1962 Ladakh, bone-chilling winds, sub-zero temperatures, and a looming Chinese invasion. The Charlie Company of the 13th Kamau Regiment, 120 soldiers, 117 of them were Ahirs from Haryana. They were stationed at Rezang, a ridge which was 16,000 feet, and their mission was to defend the Chushul sector at all cost. Led by Major Shaitan Singh, who would be awarded posthumously with Param Chakra. These men fought against an enemy which outnumbered them 10:1. They had no artillery backup, ammunition was low, winter clothing was inadequate, yet they held their ground. They were isolated, cut off from reinforcements, and surrounded from multiple directions. Yet they showed zero intention of retreating. Reports say that they inflicted over 1,300 casualties on the Chinese before being overwhelmed. Out of 120, 114 were martyred, 5 were critically wounded, and 1 was taken as prisoner. Even the Chinese, in an act of rare wartime respect, covered the fallen soldiers with blankets. Kulpreet Singh, in his book, The Battle of Rezang, wrote, "They were outnumbered, outgunned, and outweathered, but fought like true heroes. Determination, grit, and belief were bigger than any material odds." And it wasn't just a military event. It was a moral story of complete raw courage. And what it looks like when you are backed against a wall. How do you fight back? And that's exactly what is required today. If we talk about now, let's talk about the strategic importance of Rezang. Rezang isn't just a name, it's a gateway. It overlooks the Spanggur Gap, a crucial pass across the line of actual control. And right behind it is Chushul, a forward airbase critical to India's defense in Ladakh. This is one of the few locations in Ladakh where an airstrip is very close to the LAC, making it vital for supply chains and air defense. If the Chinese that day had captured Rezang, they would have taken Chushul and possibly even ventured into Leh, threatening India's entire control over Ladakh. But that did not happen, friends, because of these 120 men who held the line. The resistance forced the Chinese to halt its advance and declare a unilateral ceasefire. Just 3 days later, in a war, sometimes few hours of resistance can shape decades of peace. And hats off to these heroes for the same. Well, why does this story present day matter for you and how would it come? Let's understand the same. Because battles like Rezang aren't just history, these are case studies in strategy, leadership, geopolitics, and geography. The UPSC has asked about similar battles and mountain passes in both prelims and mains. It's also about understanding India's defense vulnerabilities and the real world importance of terrain in military planning. Well, here are a few mountain passes which you should know for your geography, especially for your papers, such as Nathla in Sikkim, Zojala in Kashmir, Rohtang in Himachal, and Sela Pass in Arunachal. The Banihal Pass is key to accessing the Kashmir Valley. And of course, the Rezang Pass, which is near the Spanggur Gap. These aren't just names, these are lifelines. Knowing them, you can connect current events, defense strategy, and Indian border diplomacy. Well, let me end it up by saying the movie 120 Bahadur is not just about a forgotten battle. It's about remembering who we are and what we stand for. Whether you're prepping for defense examination or love your country, the story of Rezang reminds us that courage isn't always about winning sometimes, it's about standing firm when everything says you shouldn't. And maybe that's why this battle, lost on paper and won in spirit, still echoes today in every conversation about India's defense and mountain warfare. Well, if this story moved you, just give it a like and share with someone who needs inspiration today. And don't forget to subscribe because we'll be bringing more such stories related to history that are almost forgotten, but we will never let you forget. This Jai Hind, this is Hartad signing off.